What's in your mind for you and for I? I'm trying to decide from the look in your eyes, yeah. I mean besides, but your feelings inside you. I'm missing on my mind and my spirit.
Action live. Here we are, episode 39, Inside the RV podcast. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Shout out to our dedicated audience of listeners, the insiders. To everybody who's new, thanks for jumping in. We appreciate it. This is Inside the RV, a podcast about entrepreneurship, work ethic, self-development, and becoming the best version of yourself. You're joined by your two lovely hosts, two oh-so mildly handsome hosts. I'm one of them, Jacob Moore.
I'm the other, Ryan Ramirez.
Jacob Moore and Ryan Ramirez. Together, we are here chronicling our story of successes, failures, and everything in between in the music industry. Ryan is an artist. I am an artist manager. We are the dynamic duo, and we're telling you all about it in this podcast. And I'm going to give it off to Ryan right here because he's got something really important to say. So go ahead.
Yeah. This week, I wanted to talk about perspective. Because I feel like, a lot of times, especially like on a podcast, people can get very set on their mindset or their ways or the way they view things, or just in life in general. I feel like people get very very locked in on their opinions on things. But the older I get, I feel like life is not right or wrong. There's no like right or wrongs with shit. I mean, I guess there's some moral things that are technically right, but it's just like life is a lot of gray area with like a lot of situations, a lot of circumstances, and there's no really like hard answers to things. It's all based on circumstances, people, whatever it is. So what I've learned to do is to, if I have a perspective on something, to still be open to other perspectives, because I think there's a lot of value in taking in other people's opinions and taking in other people's way of seeing things, and kind of taking different segments of different perspectives from different people. So that's the message I kind of wanted to get across today.
Your perspective is shaped, not entirely, but in a large way by the things you experience, and also by the things that you educate yourself on, and by the things that you learn. Mm-hmm. So you can get a really good grasp of something and build your own perspective or paradigm in which you view the lens through, which is a lens in which you view the world through. But you always got to remember that there's someone that has experienced something that is different than what you've experienced, that has helped them shape their perspective of the world. I was reading that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And, excuse me, in the overview, before they actually start the chapters, they were the author was basically saying that the lens through which you view, which is where I just got the terminology from, the lens through which you view the world, that lens and that worldview is known as your paradigm. I believe that's how they said it. So when you have a paradigm shift, you're shifting your perspective or the lens through which you view the world, and you're seeing something entirely different. So, and having a paradigm shift, in my opinion, is how you open is the result of opening up your mind to new ways of thinking. And when you do that, you can come to different conclusions that might be better for you than you would have previously thought. So I think a big portion of what we're talking about is open-mindedness, right? Perspective and open-mindedness. So you view the world through a particular lens based on how you grew up, things you've read in books, things you've experienced, whatever. Is everything that you view the right thing? Maybe not. Maybe from a certain moral standpoint, a wholly agreed upon moral standpoint, maybe it is, whatever. But for the most part, a lot of things that a lot of the point of view that you have is based on what you've experienced. So there's all these other people that have all these other experiences, and they may have a point of view that you might hear and be like, oh my God, that is so much better than what I was thinking. Now that I'm equipped with that point of view and that perspective, I can actually make a more informed decision about X, Y, Z, whatever it is. I want to relate this more to business, because that's obviously, in the grand scheme of things, like in your worldview, it's great to be open-minded and stuff, but especially in business, business is a meritocracy. May the best man win. Whoever's got the best ideas, it's not personal. If this girl has the best idea and she makes everybody $1 million, we're listening to her, baby.
for
Okay,
sure.
I don't give a shit what the other guys got to say. So when it comes to perspective and open-mindedness, especially in business, you got to put your ego aside. You got to put your way of thinking aside. Still be conscious of it, but you got to have that open-mindedness and tell yourself, hey, okay, I think I'm in a good spot with what I'm thinking, but how can I enhance that? How can I elevate it? What is something that other people could tell me that could elevate my thinking? And if you aren't open to hearing new perspectives and you're not open-minded, you're never going to reach your true potential or experience things as great as they could possibly be, because you could be missing out on something greater than what you're already thinking.
And we're not saying like when you hear someone's perspective, you need to switch up and change like your whole view on it. It's just like, because I think that's dangerous. I think like
Totally.
being too open and like too what's the word? Persuasive.
Yeah, gullible, easily
Yeah,
persuaded.
it's like
sure.
then you only have like a firm view on things,
Yeah.
and like I think that's not healthy. But it's always good to at least be open to listening and really, really understanding like, okay, why are they coming from that point of view? Like really thinking about it. Like there's a reason why that works for them, or they think that way. And so that's the interesting part about it. And just be like a student about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what? Like why? What's the underlying reason they think that way? You don't have to agree, but it's just like, okay, like just take it in.
And here's the big thing too. It's like, and this is so unbelievably relevant, especially to politics, because politics is the one thing where there's a large group of people in each aisle of the political spectrum that just don't want to hear it from anywhere else.
Yeah.
Then there's that small portion of people in each political ideology that are saying, hey, I'm willing to listen to other people even if I completely disagree with them. I want to say politics, business, relationships, everything. You need to be open to at least listening to what other people say, even if you disagree with them. Because if you aren't willing to listen to them, and you and the mob and all these other people are saying, no, we have to silence this person, we shouldn't listen to this person because we disagree with them, you're inhibiting someone's freedom of expression and freedom to think differently and freely. So all I got to say is, we want people to be creative. We want people to be expressive, even if they have different points of views than us, even if they have fucked up different points of views than us. The fact is, I think we need to give people the freedom to have their own perspective, even if we disagree with it. And how can you combat something, some dangerous way of thinking? Or let's say you really disagree with someone. Well, how are you supposed to break down their argument and really shit on them and prove them wrong if you're not even willing to listen to them? No matter how mad someone makes you because you guys disagree on this political issue or this business issue or whatever it is, it's like, dude, if you're not even willing to sit down and shut your mouth for 5 minutes and listen to them, you can't even break down their argument and their thinking. Now, to Ryan's point, it is really important to be firm in what you believe is the truth, and and there are a lot of truths that are evident in society, like entirely agreed upon, like this is the truth. Like a guy rapes a woman, like
That's bad, 100%.
that is bad.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees that's bad, right?
Yeah.
Some people will say like, oh, we should kill that person, and some people will be like, well, no. Personally, I'm the guy who says, like, if you rape someone, we should fucking kill you. Why waste our tax dollars on that? Okay, anywho, we're not going to get into that. But so then there are people who are like, no, we should let them, live, whatever. If you disagree with either of those stances, then you need to be able to soundly and reasonably use logic to tell people why they're wrong. Right? Because then you can influence other people because you have a roadmap and you're saying, hey, here's why this person is wrong, ABC, XYZ. And then you can have a bunch of other people say, hey, oh my gosh, wait, you're actually right. So being open to listening to other people's perspectives, number one, you'll be more open-minded. You can learn new things. Number two, you can break down their argument if you don't like their argument, and you can prove them wrong. And then number three, when you're an open-minded and a person who's willing to listen, you can influence others.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think too, like, if this is, in my opinion, just like a deep truth, like if you can't listen to someone's perspective, and not get so fumed up, and just like, I just feel like the people who do that are like the most insecure.
For sure.
Because, and I think that's just a deep truth, because if you truly were confident in your view on things, you would be calm and collected about it. You would just like, you wouldn't be phased by whatever someone else has said. Is just like, okay, like I just don't agree. Like you're wrong. Like that's just, that is what it is. But if you're really trying to like, oh, like, you know, fuck you, whatever. Like, it's just like, I feel like that just shows like you're not sure. You're not really sure of yourself, but you're really trying to be. Like you're really trying to be right about certain things, and that just shows like insecurity, in my opinion. I think we've all done that though. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying like some of us have and some of us haven't, but I think like being able to control yourself and understand just different perspectives. And like I said, like why are they thinking that way? Because I think a lot of times surface level people will look at someone's perspective and be like, oh, he's a bad person because he thinks like that. But it's like, if you really dig, there's usually an underlying reason why that makes sense. And it's usually for a good reason. Like I think, because I honestly, like, I could be naive for this, but like I genuinely think that the majority of human beings, like, we're good people, like at heart. I could be wrong, but I choose to look at it that way because I want to see the good in people. And so I always try to make sure, like, when I disagree with someone's perspective, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, why? Okay, can I use my own research and my own thinking to really understand? Like, okay, I think there's a good source of heart at it, but it's just the approach of it may be a different way of viewing it. I don't know how to explain what I'm saying, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think like a lot of people have good intentions with their perspectives. In general, I could be wrong again, but that's the way I choose to look at it.
It's how they deliver it.
Yeah, how they deliver it, or like just the intricacies of it. I don't know.
To go back to what you said about how, like, people who hear something they disagree with or whatever and they get pissed, or they're not being open to new perspectives or whatever it is. I don't think so if you're a person who hears something that you disagree with and you just get loud and you start cussing and you don't even want to hear it, I don't even think that you're so sure about your own perspective.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you said. You have an insecurity with your own perspective.
You're trying to convince yourself.
You're trying to convince yourself that you're right. But you know, if you hear what the other person has to say, you may question yourself.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. People hate questioning themselves. People long for confidence, dude. People wish they have confidence. I wish I had greater confidence than I do now. When I was younger, I wished I had confidence. My confidence is obviously growing, but it's one of those things where I will confidently say all people want to feel a sense of confidence within themselves and a sense of being able to trust themselves. So when someone comes up and shakes up your perspective, it rattles you. It gets you emotional because you have that insecurity. But the first way to build confidence is being able to listen to what others have to say and putting your ego aside. Because when you're able to put your ego aside, that means you're controlling something within you that's really powerful, and that builds confidence. If you can't control yourself, good luck. No one else is going to be able to.
See, I just feel like that's a hidden secret. Like, it's weird. Like, it's weird to me that people try to protect that for themselves. Because I feel like when you don't protect that and you're open, you get along with more people.
Totally.
And you have more relationships, more friends, and you're more like bendable and flexible.
Yeah.
And like people respect that because you're not so set in your ways or so set in your, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that recently I've really tried to just take in like different perspectives and stuff and just like analyze it and just do my own research on it. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I do agree with that. I didn't before, but I think like I see what it is. I feel like it's good intention, and it feels good to like to take in other perspectives and, you know, mold to them, because it just shows that you care. You know what I mean? Like it shows yourself that you care about other people and you care about society in general, and you're able to just like befriend different people no matter what their view is on things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's what I want to say.
Yeah.
So what you just said is like the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
Like some people meet and they have different perspectives, whatever, and then one person changes their mind, whatever. Like that's cool. Okay, maybe it's not the ideal scenario, whatever, but that's cool. Hey, someone changed their perspective, they feel good. Okay, cool. But what I want to say is that when you are being open-minded and listening to what other people say, you're putting yourself up for a potential debate and argument.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready to say, okay, actually, I disagree with that because X, Y, Z.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you just walk into the party and you're buddy with everyone and they're talking about a certain topic and you're like, you know what, I'm going to jump in. Be prepared to defend your standpoint.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you're one of those people and you have no knowledge on the topic, maybe you could just be a little silent participant and you can sit there and take in some information and say, okay, that was cool. That was really like mind opening. I'm glad I heard that, which is more of what you're talking about.
See, I think the only topic though where like you got to be aware of this is politics.
I think the conversation that you and I are having right now, Ryan,
It's
I'm
literally about
thinking of like
politics.
politics. Well, I'm thinking entirely of like people like arguing.
Yeah.
I think you're more of thinking of just people like kind of meeting, having different perspectives.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think we're on different pages.
I think the only topic, maybe religion too, but like politics is very like is the one that you know can get heated or whatever.
Yeah.
As far as like business and shit, I mean, I think business is like a little bit more loose for what I experienced. I think it's still like very like cutthroat, but it's not as like fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I you know, I take it back. I think there's a lot of situations like that, but I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Not yet. not yet, buddy.
Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah, like, you know, I just want to say in your quest to be open-minded, don't let people shit on you.
Yeah.
Because people who are very open-minded but don't have tons of confidence and don't have resilience will be taken advantage of.
See, the way here's how I kind of view it. Like, because you don't want to get taken advantage of for sure. And I think that's why a lot of people have their guard up for certain situations. But I think the balance is having that guard up, but still being open-minded. That's the ideal balance. But if it's hard to have that balance and you know, you feel like you're taken advantage of, but you want to be vulnerable and open-minded, don't surround yourself with those people. Those are red flags, in my opinion. That's kind of how I see it. Like, if it's tough to like, in my opinion, to be more on the more open-minded end is more of a win for you in the success journey because, you know, you're dealing with experience, like people with experience, and you wanna learn and grow and be humble and just like be a student. But if it's tough for you to do that and you feel like if you do that with this person and they're taking advantage of that, I think that's a red flag for the person and just don't surround yourself with that person. Like just learn from that and be like, okay, but keep that humbleness and that student-esque vibe to you, but just apply it to someone who's maybe a little bit better and more concerning of that, you know? It's tough though, like it's a balance.
Well, I think to kind of get away from I think a lot of what you and I are talking about right now has to do with like conversations with people, like when talking to people and hearing different points of view. What I want to talk about for a minute now is trying new things.
Okay.
Right? Being open-minded enough to try different things. And that's something that you and I are doing. So for Ryan's career right now, we're trying a completely different approach and working with different people. And it's way different than we have been. But if Ryan and I weren't open-minded enough and didn't put our egos aside and say, hey, you know what, let me listen to these other guys. Maybe they have some gold for us. If we never did that, we'd probably be sitting in this RV for a lot longer.
Yeah.
But now we've had so many conversations with these other people we're working with or we're going to work with that I feel really confident they were able to sell me and Ryan basically and explain all of the value that they could bring. We were able to talk to them and say, hey, this is all the value we can bring, whatever. But if we didn't even want to hear it from them, we could have lost out on a big opportunity. And whatever comes of this, you know, whether it's huge for Ryan's career or not, we're going to learn. And that's the biggest, that is not the biggest thing necessarily, but it's one of the biggest things is that out of Ryan and my how would you word that? Out of our ability to be open-minded, we're now embarking on an entirely new trail in our entrepreneurial journey where we're going to learn, we're going to meet people, that we're going to experience a ton of new things. But if Ryan and I weren't open to new perspectives, we none of that would have happened. And Ryan and I would probably be sitting in this RV, just me and him, for a very long time. So from our personal experience, be open-minded. Try new things.
Yeah, and also too, like one thing I wanted to bring up is take certain things from people, even if you don't like them. Like, okay, like here's an example, right? Jake Paul. Okay, no one likes him. Like everyone shits on him, whatever. But me, as someone who's trying to win in life, I look okay, maybe I don't like those things too that people don't like. But why? Okay, so why is he winning these boxing matches, right? You know, some people say it's rigged or whatever the fuck. But for me, like, I don't think it's rigged. But why did he win the boxing match? Oh, what was the mentality that drove him to be like this up and coming boxer?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are blind by the bullshit. Like a lot of people, they don't look past that and they don't look for those success keys that that person has. He's winning for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the true winners, they look past the bullshit and they see, okay, why? Right? I'm gonna say it. Like, I bought Trump's book, Never Give Up.
Yeah.
Right? People don't like him. Whatever.
Yeah.
You can argue whatever. People don't like him. But I knew that there was success keys in that book because he was a successful businessman, and there's a reason why he was.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take those keys, whether I like him or not or whatever. I'm gonna take those keys and apply it to my success journey and my motivation and shit. Like, everyone has like all these certain things. I had another example in my mind, but I forgot. But you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta take even like all these winners. If people don't like them, there's a reason why they're winning though.
Yeah.
You know, so you gotta take the keys.
I just don't think it's so black and white.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Just because someone did something bad or whatever, or you disagree with something, if they say something or have a piece of advice or they took some sort of action that was good, you can look at that, you know, singularly. You don't have to look at the entirety of every single thing they've done and be like thumbs up or thumbs down. Like, yeah, there's a lot of controversy around Trump and stuff, but he is he's successful.
Yeah.
Bottom fucking line.
Yeah.
He became the president. He's a multi-billionaire. So I'm sure there's a lot of fucked up shit that I do not want to take from him.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are a couple of little gold nuggets where I could go, I'm going to add that to my arsenal.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to like. That doesn't mean you like the person.
Exactly.
It's just, but you're smart enough to know there's a reason why that person's winning in this regard. Yeah. So how can I apply that to myself? You don't have to like the person.
Yeah.
You know.
I say just build your own pot of gold. Take a little nugget from Trump, even if he's a piece of shit, even if the person hates him or you like him or they whatever. If there's a gold nugget there, take that little gold nugget. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Extremely controversial, but undoubtedly the greatest pop star of all time, the king of pop. Arguably the greatest music artist of all time, most commercially successful, pretty much. I think, right? Like, he has the most Grammys or whatever.
So he's up there. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, he's like one of the top 5.
Yeah.
So it's like there was a lot of controversy around him, but if you watch his career and look at how he became one of the greatest music artists of all time, there has to be a nugget in there. There's got to be a golden nugget in there.
Even like Chris Brown. Like, Chris Brown's my favorite artist, like, right now. And you know, there's some people where they ask me like, who's your favorite artist? Like, Chris Brown. Oh, even after beat up Rihanna, I'm like, okay, obviously that's some shit. Like, you don't like, I would never do that, and I don't look up to that at all. Like, that's like very bad for sure. But if I'm not smart enough to look past that and look at the talent and the art and the reason why he's successful in those regards, I would be a fucking idiot to not take that in and like learn from that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're so blind to like that thing that stops you from looking into someone, like, you're fucking yourself over, because that person for sure has gems. I don't give a fuck if he did something bad, whatever. I'm not gonna model myself after that side of that person, but it's like, I'm gonna model myself after the winning aspect of that person because I want to be a winner. You know, so I don't know. I think that could be a touchy thing for certain people, but if it's a touchy thing for you, then in my opinion, you're not looking at things the right way. Like, I think that you don't have to agree with like something someone bad did. Wait, something bad did, whatever. Something someone bad did, and not look past and like understand why they're winning though, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Cause no one's perfect too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not disregarding and saying like that's okay. Like,
yeah,
he's not perfect, but it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even like JB had his run of like shit that he went through like in 2014 or whatever. But that even during that time, I was listening to journals. I was listening to all the shit that he was dropping because I saw success in him in that regard, and I really wanted to. I was curious, like, why? Forget the bullshit. Forget the TMZ, all the antics, whatever. Like, why is his art so fucking good? And apply it to myself.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think part of the reason people don't do that, Ryan, is because they're scared of what other people think. They're scared to pull up to the party and say, "Yeah, Chris Brown's my favorite music artist," because they know that people are gonna fucking shit on them. Yeah. But I mean, I'm just not gonna live my life being scared of what people think.
But it's
You know,
but it's like if you're that one person that says it anyways, and it makes the person go, oh, like really? Then it's like you may have just changed that person's life in a small way because you're like, damn, like I really like that he likes this person. I know he doesn't like condone what he did,
Mhm.
but he respects him as an artist.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Like I want to apply that in my life, you know?
Yeah, we just came full circle.
Yeah.
We just came full circle. That's sick, man. That's sick. Yeah. I mean, I think the bottom line for me is that just listen to people. Be willing to listen to people.
Yeah.
No matter how pissed off they make you, no matter what type of political shit you see on Twitter or anything like that, you just got to be able to listen to people.
Because there's a reason they think that way. Like it's deep rooted. Like it's not just oh, they just had this thought and like boom, like there's a reason why they feel that way. Like you got to at least respect that. Like you got to at least respect that it could go way back to like their childhood or like circumstances.
And it usually
like, you don't
does.
know. Yeah, you don't know like why they really feel that way. So it's interesting to be a student and just like you know taking different people's experiences and just like learn it all and then decipher for yourself what do I like, what don't I like. Boom.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the biggest part of you know trying to get a different perspective on a certain topic or something like that is that it forces you to control your emotions. Because if someone says something that is kind of inflammatory towards you and you didn't like that and you feel like you want to cuss them out or you disagree with it and you want to go into this debate or this argument, you have to take a deep breath and you have to control your emotions.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most crucial things that you need to learn as an entrepreneur, because there's going to be a lot of shit you disagree with. There's going to be a lot of fucked up shit that happens suddenly that makes you happy, sad, mad, whatever. And you need to be able to control your emotions so that you can make a sound decision. Life is just all about trying to make the most high quality, best decisions as possible. Jeff Bezos said, I watched a clip of him. He was like, if I can make, 3 to 5 high quality decisions a day, that was a good day for me. And that's Jeff Bezos.
Wow.
And I will kind of look at that similarly. Life is all about making high quality, good decisions. If you could make 2 decisions in a day that lead you 10 miles forward, as opposed to making 20 decisions, but you only took, 10 feet forward, why would you not just make those 2 really high quality, good decisions? So you can't make those high quality decisions and figure out where you're trying to go in this entrepreneurial journey if you're blinded by your emotions. So you got to be able to control that shit. So when you go out and listen to other people, you're not only being open-minded, you're being friendly, you're being caring, you're willing to listen to others, which is just an awesome personable trait others like in you. Not only are you doing that, but you're learning to control your emotions.
And that's humility too.
Yes.
To take in other people's perspective and like really understand where they're coming from. Like that's humility because look, dude, like you and me, like we're a speck of dust.
Yeah.
Out of all this. Like how can we possibly know everything? How can we possibly be so sure that we know like the right answer to shit? Like we are nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. There's so much more to the world than we'll ever know. How can we possibly be so set in a certain way on something, like, and things are always changing too. Like things change. Life is always like a changing thing. And I think the best way to go is just to be a student and be humble and just like take in everybody's way of thinking, and then decipher for yourself, like what works for me. What do I like,
Okay. That's the biggest thing I want to say in the discussion then, is take what you've learned and heard from others and mold your own perspective.
Yeah.
Be a free thinker.
Yeah.
Think for yourself. And a lot of people think that means I'm going to think for myself. I ain't going to fucking listen. No, fuck everybody. I ain't going to do that. No. What that means is being completely open to experiencing what the world brings you and then using that experience to mold your own perspective. And now, like they said in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, now you have this paradigm or this lens through which you view the world. And guess what you're trying to do? You're trying to continually sharpen your lens. Ryan said, like, we're a speck of dust. We'll never know everything. We will never know everything. That just sounded weird, like all those syllables saying that. We will never know everything, but you have this lens you're viewing the world through. Why not try to sharpen that lens? Why not try to get 20/20 vision through that lens? Learn as much as you can. That's the fun part of life.
And the crazy thing too is somebody can tell you one thing, one sentence, and if you weren't open to receiving it, you wouldn't have listened to them, and that thing could have changed your fucking life. Like that piece of advice could have shaped everything you've done for the next couple years and changed your whole trajectory in life. But if you were closed-minded to it, and you were like, "Fuck that!" Like I'm set on my ways. Like you would have never changed your life. You know.
Yeah.
Because I think there's been a handful of times like someone's gave me a piece of advice and it changed the way it really changed in a deep way the way I see things, but it changed my life for the better.
Wow.
Because I was open to it, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, that's
Hey,
dope,
let's
man.
go.
That's dope. All right, y'all. We appreciate it. This was episode 39. The next one is going to be 40 weeks. Shout out to all the insiders listening. Hit up me and Ryan on Instagram at Ryan Ramirez Official at JACXB More. I still got to get a little cleaner Instagram handle, man. I'm waiting.
Yeah,
Someone has my full name.
Okay.
Jacob Moore.
He won't DM me back though, huh?
That bastard. No, but he's got a great personal brand going on, so I was like, you know what, man, I won't. It's all. He got a good name. It's all good. Hey, we appreciate it, everybody. Peace out.
What's in your mind for you and for I? I'm trying to decide when I look in your eyes, yeah, yeah. I made my signs,